During the height of America's muscle car wars, not every powerful machine became a legend. Some cars were hidden behind ordinary styling, others were buried deep inside factory option sheets, and a few existed because engineers quietly pushed past corporate rules. These cars didn't always receive magazine covers or massive advertising campaigns, but under the hood, they carried engines capable of serious performance. In this video, we are covering 8 forgotten muscle cars that still pack a punch, machines from Detroit's golden era that delivered impressive speed but somehow slipped through the spotlight. Number 1. 1968 Chevrolet Biscayne L72. The 1968 Chevrolet Biscayne L72 is one of the clearest examples of performance hiding in plain sight. The Biscayne was Chevrolet's lowest trim full-size sedan, often purchased by fleet buyers, taxi companies, or families looking for simple transportation. Compared with models like the Impala or Caprice, it carried minimal chrome, fewer comfort features, and a very basic interior. Hidden inside Chevrolet's option sheet, however, was something far more serious. Buyers could order the L72 427 cubic inch big block V8, one of the most powerful engines Chevrolet offered at the time. Officially rated at 425 horsepower, many enthusiasts believe the true output was higher. During the late 1960s, manufacturers often reported conservative horsepower figures due to insurance pressure and corporate policies. Because the Biscayne lacked extra luxury equipment, it weighed slightly less than other full-size Chevrolets. When paired with the massive 427 engine, that lighter weight improved the power-to-weight ratio and gave the sedan surprisingly strong acceleration. From the outside, nothing hinted at what was under the hood. There were no stripes or badges announcing the engine. Only enthusiasts familiar with Chevrolet engine codes understood what the L72 meant. Production numbers remain uncertain because Chevrolet never separated records specifically for Biscayne models equipped with the L72 engine. Historians believe very few were built, making surviving examples extremely rare today. When documented cars appear at auction, prices typically range between $150,000 and $300,000, depending on condition and originality. Number 2. FART 1970 Buick GS Stage 1 Convertible. By 1970, Buick had developed a different philosophy from many muscle car manufacturers. Instead of focusing only on high horsepower numbers at extreme RPM levels, Buick engineers concentrated on massive torque and strong low-speed acceleration. The 1970 Buick GS Stage 1 became the peak of that strategy. Under the hood sat a 455 cubic inch V8 rated at 360 horsepower and an enormous 510 pound-feet of torque. At the time, that torque figure was the highest offered in any American production car. The engine produced its strength low in the rev range, delivering powerful acceleration the moment the driver pressed the throttle. Drivers often experienced immediate wheel spin as the torque overwhelmed the rear tires. This made the GS Stage 1 extremely effective in real-world driving situations. The Stage 1 package included improved cylinder heads, revised camshaft timing, and better airflow through the engine. These upgrades allowed the engine to produce smooth but very forceful acceleration. What makes the GS Stage 1 Convertible especially unusual is pairing this powerful drivetrain with an open-top body style. Convertibles added weight and reduced structural rigidity, and insurance companies had already begun raising premiums for high-performance vehicles. Because of these factors, Buick produced only 49 GS Stage 1 convertibles in 1970, making them one of the rarest factory muscle cars of the era. Despite their performance, they were overshadowed by the more aggressive GSX hardtop. Today, collectors value these rare convertibles highly, with documented examples often selling between $200,000 and $300,000. Number 3. 1969 Pontiac Firebird Ram Air V. The 1969 Pontiac Firebird Ram Air V was not designed to be a typical showroom muscle car. It came from an ambitious engineering program focused on improving airflow and pushing engine performance further. At the center of the project was a 400 cubic inch V8 equipped with highly specialized cylinder heads featuring straight intake ports. Unlike traditional designs where intake passages curve into the combustion chamber, the Ram Air V allowed air and fuel to travel more directly into the engine. This improved airflow at high engine speeds. Pontiac never officially published horsepower figures for Ram Air V street engines. The program existed somewhere between factory production and racing development. Some engines were installed before delivery, while others were shipped to dealers or race teams. Because of this unusual process, exact production numbers remain uncertain. Most historians estimate fewer than 50 complete Ram Air V Firebirds were built. The program ended when General Motors tightened restrictions on factory involvement in motorsports, forcing several experimental performance projects to close. Today, authentic Ram Air V Firebirds are extremely rare. When documented examples appear for sale, values often exceed $500,000, reflecting both their rarity and engineering significance. Number 4.1970 Oldsmobile Rally 3050 W1. While many muscle cars of the early 1970s relied on massive big block engines, Oldsmobile briefly explored a different idea. The company believed performance could come from careful engineering rather than simply increasing engine size. This approach appeared in the 1970 Oldsmobile Rally 350 W331. The W31 package centered on a specially prepared 350 cubic inch V8 rated at 325 horsepower. Instead of relying purely on displacement, the engine used an aggressive camshaft, improved cylinder heads, and a functional forced air induction system. These upgrades helped the engine breathe more efficiently and respond quickly to throttle input. The result was smooth, responsive acceleration across a wide range of engine speeds. The Rally 350 also introduced bold styling with bright paint colors and reduced chrome trim. Despite the distinctive look, performance remained the car's main focus. Buyers during the muscle car era often preferred larger engines, which caused the Rally 350 to receive less attention than many big block competitors. Production remained relatively limited, with estimates suggesting fewer than 3,000 Rally 350 W21 models built for 1970. Today, collectors increasingly recognize the car's importance, and surviving examples typically sell between 80,000 and 140,000 depending on condition and originality. Number 5.971 Pontiac GT37 455HO. By 1971, the American muscle car landscape was beginning to change. Emissions regulations were tightening, insurance costs were rising, and many manufacturers were lowering compression ratios. High-performance big blocks were slowly disappearing. That is what makes the 1971 Pontiac GT37 equipped with the 455HO so interesting. The GT37 itself was designed as a budget performance model. Pontiac created it as a stripped-down alternative to more expensive muscle cars. Most GT37 models carried smaller engines intended to balance cost and usability, but a small number received something far more serious. Under the hood sat Pontiac's 455 high-output V8, officially rated at 335 horsepower. On paper, that number looked modest compared with earlier muscle car ratings, but new testing standards had already reduced advertised figures. In reality, the 455HO delivered far stronger performance than the rating suggested. The engine used round port cylinder heads derived from Pontiac racing programs, improving airflow and breathing. Combined with its large displacement, the result was strong torque and impressive acceleration. Production numbers were never clearly separated, but historians generally believe fewer than 100 GT37 models were built with the 455HO engine. Because the car lacked dramatic styling or heavy marketing, it remained largely overlooked. Today, collectors recognize it as one of Pontiac's final serious performance machines before the muscle car era faded. Documented examples often range between 250,000 and 450,000 depending on condition and originality. Number 6.1969 Chevrolet Chevelle copo 427. During the late 1960s, General Motors maintained strict internal rules limiting engine sizes for certain vehicles. Officially, Chevrolet could not install its largest big block engines into mid-size cars through normal ordering channels. However, performance-focused dealers discovered a loophole. The solution was the copo system, Central Office Production Order. Originally intended for fleet vehicles and commercial orders, the copo system allowed dealers to request vehicles built outside standard option combinations. Some dealers realized it could also be used to order high-performance engines normally unavailable. Through copo, a small number of 1969 Chevrolet Chevelles were equipped with the L72 427 cubic inch big block V8 rated at 425 horsepower. Like many engines of the time, that figure was widely believed to be conservative. These cars were built with performance as the priority. Many were ordered with 4-speed manual transmissions and minimal equipment, focusing entirely on speed. Because copo orders were rare and handled quietly through dealerships, production numbers remained extremely small. Most historians estimate only around 20 to 30 copo Chevelle 427s were produced. Today, surviving examples are highly prized by collectors. When properly documented cars appear at auction, values typically range between $250,000 and $400,000. The copo Chevelle became rare not because Chevrolet advertised it that way, but because very few people knew it existed. Number 7.1969 Chevrolet Copo Nova 427. If the copo Chevelle stretched Chevrolet's internal rules, the 1969 Chevrolet Copo Nova 427 pushed them even further. Chevrolet had a clear guideline during the late 1960s. Engines larger than 400 cubic inches were not intended for compact cars. The Nova platform was considered too small for such massive power, but the copo ordering system once again allowed certain dealers to work around that restriction. Through special orders, a limited number of 1969 Novas received the L72 427 cubic inch big block V8, creating an extremely aggressive power-to-weight ratio. The Nova was lighter than most mid-size muscle cars, and installing a 427 big block produced explosive straight-line performance. Many of these cars were ordered specifically for drag racing. Most copo Novas were built with simple interiors and minimal options. Comfort features were not important. Production numbers remain debated, but historians estimate fewer than 100 copo 427 Novas were produced in 1969. Because many were raced heavily, surviving examples today are extremely rare. When documented cars appear for sale, values often range between $250,000 and $500,000. The copo Nova became legendary because it turned a factory loophole into a serious performance weapon. Number 81970, Chevrolet Corvette ZR2. Most enthusiasts recognize the Corvette ZR1, but far fewer know about the even rarer 1970 Chevrolet Corvette ZR2. This car was built with one purpose: serious performance. At the center of the ZR2 package was Chevrolet's LS6 454 cubic inch big block V8, officially rated at 450 horsepower. The LS6 remains one of the most powerful engines Chevrolet ever installed in a production Corvette. The ZR2 package also included heavy-duty suspension, upgraded brakes, and reinforced drivetrain components designed to handle repeated high-performance driving. Luxury options were not a priority. The ZR2 focused entirely on durability and acceleration. Because of its extreme focus and high price, very few buyers understood what the ZR2 offered. As a result, production remained incredibly small. In 1970, only 12 Corvette ZR2s were built. Today, surviving examples are among the most valuable Corvettes of the muscle car era. When one appears for sale, prices can exceed $1 million depending on condition and history. These forgotten machines prove the muscle car era was far more complex than the handful of famous models most people remember. From hidden sleepers to factory loophole builds, these cars showed how far Detroit engineers were willing to push performance. Out of all these forgotten muscle cars, which one do you think was the most brutal factory machine ever built? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy rare muscle car history like this, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into legendary performance cars.